Is this true about Rhea Ripley? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what that could be and why I think it is 1,000% correct. Rhea Ripley is fresh off of a title defense as our Women's World Champion over Nia Jax at Saturday night's main event. It was a rematch from Elimination Chamber 2024 Australia. It was the latest showcase for Rhea Ripley in what is shaping up to be a historical 2025 as she approaches WrestleMania 41 as our Women's World Champion. This comes after ups and downs in 2024 for Rhea Ripley, something in which her fans know all too well. It's something in which that she has been able to chase after and finally capturing the Women's World Championship. Now, Rhea Ripley has a ton of history with Nia Jax. Not only Saturday night's main event, not only Elimination Chamber, but in other instances as well. Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax are two forces in WWE that have been able to have great 2024s. Rhea Ripley having a key match at WrestleMania 41 going up against Becky Lynch, having a long run and a long feud with Liv Morgan, ultimately ending with her winning the Women's World Championship on the Raw on Netflix premiere episode in early January. Nia Jax, on the flip side, won Queen of the Ring, later going on and beating Bayley for the Women's World Championship, or Women's Championship, I should say, at SummerSlam, having a multi-month feud with Bayley, ultimately losing it after, Tiffany Stratton cashed in Money in the Bank. Why am I bringing up Nia Jax? Well, I'll tell you why, because it leads us to today's video. Jax, she did an interview with Screen Rant, Adam Bernard, and Jax shared her thoughts on facing Rhea Ripley and noted that she would be taking a different approach when it comes to the Saturday night's main event. So this interview is a smidge old, but here's the premise. Here's the plot. Here's the reason I want to talk about this. What had Jax had to say? Rhea is one of our top athletes, female or male. She's one of our top athletes. I think previously when we got into it, we had the main event in the Elimination Chamber last year. I tried a different strategy, but this time I feel like I got her match with some intensity. I think just coming out of the gate and going pound to pound or pound for pound with her and seeing if I could just wear her down and pick her apart. She said it's a beautiful history. WWE is so good at keeping our history and our culture strong. From a wrestling family, I've seen my family throughout the years, the decades, all the historical shows. Being part of Saturday night's main event is going to be a cool thing on its own, but competing for the Women's World Championship is huge because I haven't held that title. That's something that I want in my accolades. That's something I want when I look back in my history and say, okay, I got that one as well. Rhea Ripley, she is at the top of the pyramid of women's division, or for women's division. But I have a little bit of a rude awakening for her because last year was my year, and I'm continuing that this year. I'm coming for that title. I don't care what gets in my way. So obviously, a little dated, but here's the reason I want to talk about this. Two reasons. Her saying that Rhea Ripley is one of their top athletes, female or male. She's one of their top athletes. 100% correct. That is true. Rhea being at the top of the pyramid for the women's division right now, 1,000% true. So both of those things are true when it comes to Rhea Ripley. And here's why. If you look at who she's been able to work with, you look at the way that she has transitioned her character, you look at the accolades in which she's been able to accomplish thus far in her WWE tenure, it's absolutely amazing. It's amazing what she's been able to do. You got to keep in mind that Rhea Ripley is someone that had to completely change her character twice. If you go back and keep in mind, she's only 28, okay? She's only 28. She turned 28 in October. She's still so young, and she's been able to accomplish so many different things. Let's run down her list. Raw Women's Champion, one-time champ. Two-time Women's World Champion. One-time Women's Tag Team Champion. One-time NXT Women's Champion. Inaugural NXT UK Women's Champion. 2023 Women's Royal Rumble match winner. NXT UK Women's Tournament Champion. That is what she's been able to do in WWE, and she's only 28. What do I talk about when I'm speaking about her transition? Gimmick-wise, y'all. I'm talking about when she was in NXT UK, she was a completely different person. Go back and look at the pictures. Go back and look at the footage. It's absolutely startling. Like, the transition that this woman has had to go through, because when she signed with NXT UK, automatically people said, oh, she's the next Charlotte Flair. And Rhea's like, don't want to be the next Charlotte Flair. I want to be the next Rhea Ripley. So she eliminated all doubt. She eliminated all comparisons to her and Charlotte Flair. She did so by changing her look, changing her hair color, changing the way that she looks, her ring attire, her promos, her work rate, everything this woman changed. And she should be very proud of that. The fact of the matter is, I don't think if she would have stood out on her own, going the gothic, darker route, giving her a little bit of an edge, if you will, I don't know that she would be in the spot that she is right now. I think she was always poised for success. I think she was always poised to get over in a major way. I just don't know if it would have came as quickly as it had been. I think if you look at the fact of the matter is that Rhea Ripley, she's worked with the Becky Lynches, she's worked with the Charlotte Flairs, she's won the Royal Rumble. The only thing that she really hasn't done is have a main event match at WrestleMania, but she's headlined, WWE, PLE, Elimination Chamber. Off the top of my head, I don't think any other chamber or other PLE that she's headlined, but I digress. So if you look at it like that, then yeah, she's done it. She's done it all. She's done it all in this business. And she's only going to get better. That's the scary thing. Like, she's only going to get better. She's only going to improve on the mic. She's only going to improve on her psychology. She's only going to improve on her in-ring work. She's really dialed in right now. And at a time where WWE, they were without Becky Lynch and they were without Charlotte Flair. And Bianca Belair was doing the tag thing. And Bayley was on SmackDown. She's helped keep the women's division on Monday Night Raw alive and thriving. Liv Morgan as well, obviously. But just in general, if you take out Becky Lynch, which we've done, and if you take out Charlotte Flair, which we've done over the last year or so, let's say 8 months, who's the bigger star? Well, it's Rhea Ripley. And now that we're getting Charlotte Flair back at the Royal Rumble, and reportedly we're going to be getting back Becky Lynch, will she still stand out? I think she will. I think it's going to be a three-way tie as to who is the biggest women's star in WWE. As weird and as crazy, as outlandish as that may sound, I think it's true. I think you have to acknowledge the body of work that Rhea Ripley has done in WWE in the last 8 months. I mean, think about this. 2023, she wins the Women's Royal Rumble. She beats Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, becoming women's champion. She goes on a 1 year long run as champion. The only reason she vacated the title to Liv Morgan, essentially, is because Liv injured her. If that didn't happen, she would have still been champion. I don't know how much longer, but she certainly wouldn't have dropped it to Liv, and Liv wouldn't have become the star that she is. So I think you have to look at it for the reality of the situation.